Guys, we're back here on GTTV with Bill Trinan. Bill, we have even more Donkey Kong goodness for the fans tonight. Another level which plays into the freeze theme is we're getting a little closer to home, so it's a little chillier now.
That's correct. This is the first level back on DK Island. It's called Homecoming Hijinks, and what's really fun about this level is obviously it's all completely frozen. You'll see little hints that maybe will remind you a bit of the first level from Donkey Kong Country Returns on Wii, but this is a totally new level. All the levels on Donkey Kong Island are different this time, and they're actually quite challenging. I was trying to play through this earlier and having some struggles, but
even me, master player Bill Trinan.
What's really fun is that the way that the ice has frozen elements in the environment, and then you as players, you're jumping on these platforms and causing sort of the ice to crack and break, and then platforms will fall off, entire elements of the environment will sort of start to collapse. Of course, Donkey Kong, it's really about the precision of your platforming abilities, and so trying to find those right moments to hit those platforms, make those jumps, and then to sort of launch out of cannons when you're firing through the level is really where you start to get a lot of the challenge in this level.
People obviously remember the barrels and, you know, the mine carts and things like that. I mean, what are some of the cool ways you're going to be able to interact with the environment in this game?
There are a lot of different things that they've done this time. One in particular, they've added a plucking ability. You're able to pull these things out of the ground that will trigger different elements of the environment to then start shifting or moving. The other thing that they've added is with they've kind of enhanced your ability to pick up and throw objects and carry objects around. And so that plays sort of a big part in terms of how you decide to, you know, what objects you're grabbing, how you would use those to interact with the different enemies. But one of the biggest changes that we've seen with the game is what they're doing with some of the camera work, particularly early on in the game, where instead of just being that straight side-scrolling level, you're getting the camera flying in, and you're getting these worlds from these different angles, and that really allows them to do some different things, particularly on the minecart levels, from a depth and strategy standpoint that they hadn't been able to do when it was just a straight side-scrolling game.
Well, even like the intro to this level, I mean, it's just cool where the camera's sweeping around. I mean, it's like Donkey Kong in a way you haven't seen before.
Exactly. You know, Retro Studios has really done an amazing job of not only bringing their technical capabilities and creating a strong platformer like Donkey Kong Country, but they've also found these new ways to really help give you a new view into the Donkey Kong world. It's a lot of fun.
Well, it's fantastic, and we are excited that it's going to kick off 2014 for Nintendo in February, so lots of cool stuff in the game, and I'm sure still more to reveal about all things Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. All right, thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Tonight, we celebrate the release of the Xbox One. Hear what we thought of the launch games in this review roundup. With more combo weapons and even larger hordes of enemies, there's a lot to play with in this bloody sandbox. Creating killing implements on the fly is fun and easy, and the addition of vehicles helps you plow your way through a wide-open world full of squishy dead guys.
I found this out there. It might be useful.
Dead Rising 3 keeps the series' sense of humor alive, shambling away with an 8.0 out of 10. The bloody spectacle of war and gladiatorial combat are thrilling to behold, but next-gen gaming wasn't built in a day. Capable legionary combat conveys the might of Rome, but it's also highly repetitive. When the shock and awe wears off, hurling javelins and commanding your troops is disappointingly clumsy. Vicious slow-mo executions are the brutal highlight. Are you not entertained? We give Rise a 7.0 out of 10. If you only get one game for your new Xbox One, don't make it this one. This self-aware weaponized motorcycle drags players along for an extremely bumpy ride.
You cracked me up.
With sloppy gameplay and an iffy sense of humor, this borderline busted bike is better left in the garage.
Shall we live the extreme dream together?
LOCOCYCLE drives off with a 4.2 out of 10.
This December, Jim Lee and Brian Azzarello's vision of Superman for tomorrow is soaring into figure form. DC Comics' Man of Steel is receiving the Kotobukiya Artifact statue treatment, and tonight, you may be eligible to win one for your very own Fortress of Solitude. Just follow @GTTV Show on Twitter, tweet us using the hashtag GTTV, and let us know what your personal kryptonite is. Junk food, comic books, extended in-game cutscenes? And don't forget to check out KotoUS.com and like Kotobukiya on Facebook for the latest on their upcoming productions. We're not finished with Nintendo just yet. Reggie returns to give us more insight into the future of the company and what surprises might await us in 2014.
We're working on it, and it's coming.